I need to be there to be able to deliver.
Saiu do barco, já não sei como.
Saiu, mas começou outra vez.
Já começou, ok.
Estou, deve ser para a plana de sempre.
Pronto, é o serviço de imigração, a alfândega.
por aqui. Não vais é poder depois passar por aqui, portanto, apanhas daí quando ela chegar e depois o melhor se calhar é ires à volta. Quer dizer, apanhas daqui quando ela chegar, mas depois o melhor é ires à volta, porque aqui não vais já não passar. Era isso que você dá a dizer, depois dá a volta e para ali. Este YouTube vai ver com a imagem.
You have to wait for the authorities to come out.
You're doing a great job. We're going to do that. Diga, diga.
Lá embaixo tem que cuidar com os carros lá, você não tem ninguém com aquilo. Ele é fácil de trocar e cair.
Você vai demorar muito tempo? Não sabe.
Olhar para aí, 5 minutos, devem ver se você de entrar. Não vão entrar aí, são 5 jornalistas.
A ideia é só impedir as pessoas de rolarem ali.
The thing is, it's a security problem before the water. We don't like to have any damage. I don't think they will hurt you.
Lisboa inteira é assim, não tem mais à volta do rio, né? Só tínhamos que impedir as pessoas todas.
Não, não, isso é uma
for coming, everyone.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Sou presidente, pode cumprimentá-lo outra vez.
Abram lá o espaço então.
Okay, what do we do?
The stage.
Stage,
Yeah, the stage.
that way. Stage.
The mayor of Lisbon. Landing.
We step back here.
Bem-vindo a Lisboa. Welcome to Lisbon. I want to give you all, Greta, very, very warm welcome to you to Lisbon. We are delighted to have you here. And I want to say, in the name of all the city, that it is a great privilege to have you here and to have between us what has been one of the most remarkable voices fighting for all of us in the most decisive battle that we face together, the fight against climate change. Welcome here to Lisbon. The second word that I want to say is that we are really aware in Lisbon that globally we are losing the battle against climate change. So when I hear some voices that are concerned about the loudness of your voice, when I hear voices that saying there is too many demonstrations about climate change, I want to say precisely the message from Lisbon is precisely the opposite. We need a stronger voice from you. We need a stronger voice from you. We need a stronger voice because we need to act more together to win this battle. We are not winning this battle, and we need to do more globally to win this battle. The third message that I want to give you, very simple, is that in Lisbon you are going to get some new, very good friends. But most of all, I want that when you leave Lisbon, you find a community that's really engaged in concrete action to fight climate change. Portugal and Lisbon, we are now declining on emissions, but we have the conscience that we need to do much more, much faster, with concrete and decisive actions to do. We have this community, this amazing number of activists, and we are fully committed to this strategy of doing our part to reduce emissions and doing our part in fighting global change. So, Greta, I want to, when you leave Lisbon, that you feel that you hear a strong, committed community, and basically that every time that you think about Lisbon, you think also about your home. Thank you very much.
My name is Beatriz.
My name is Matilde.
We are here in representation of Fridays for Future in Portugal, Greve Climática Estudantil. First of all, we'd like to give a warm welcome to Greta and her crew, and we hope you enjoy Lisbon and your culture.
I'm here to present and we are a youth movement that fights for climate justice. We fight for climate justice because our house is on fire. And because our house is on fire, we've organized a strike for the climate together with thousands of students many times this year. Our demands are simple. In Portugal, we need to reach carbon neutrality by 2030. We need to keep fossil fuels, including gas, on the ground. We need to provide clean energy for all. And we need to cancel new airport projects, Montijo included. We need a system change, not a climate change. We are still far from winning. We know that change disturbs the ones in power. They tell us our country's ambitions in climate policies, but we know it isn't. They tell us they are doing what they can, but we know they're not. But we also know that this is the struggle of our generation, and we will not give up. We all have raised like a wave to demand climate justice for all, and we need everyone to join us. If we lose, everybody loses. Now we are, like Greta, heading to COP25 in Madrid. We'll meet with thousands of other climate activists from many countries, including the Global South. There, we'll be protesting once again against the priority given to profit over our lives. The seas are rising, and so are we. Greta, thank you for having inspired the youth. Thank you for being radical in your speech. Thank you for showing politicians and corporations that will no more accept the climate chaos they've provoked. Greta, don't stop. Because together we are going to change the system and demand climate justice for all. We are the ones we have been waiting for, and we will put out the fire in our house. Thank you.
Now we have a brief remark, because social justice is climate justice. We have a brief remark from Abel Rodrigues from Amazonia.
Thank you, everyone. Hello, Greta. Welcome to Lisbon. Hello, everybody. So my name is Abel Rodrigues. I'm from Amazon rainforest. And basically, I want to say that the world needs to know that Amazon rainforest is being killed by corporations, by injustice corporations. And I have to say to the world that the people from Amazon rainforest are being killed every day, and the world needs to know this. I want to say very thankful to Greta to be the biggest and most active voice in this battle. And I want to ask for all of you, we need to save Amazon rainforest, please.
Now we have some brief remarks from Riley Whitelam, box skipper.
Hello everyone. It's alright. I'd just like to say a few comments about the trip. It's not really recommended to cross the North Atlantic this time of year, and it was quite an eventful trip. I think we managed to dodge 60 knots and 7-metre waves twice. We had a huge wave come over the top and rip a chair off the deck. We snapped a few ropes that were very important. Yeah, a lot of stuff happened. It feels like we sort of crammed about 3 years worth of experience into 3 weeks. It was a very difficult trip. I'd like to thank Nikki Henderson. She was absolutely amazing. Made the trip a lot less stressful for me. She's sort of like having probably 3 crew members on board. She was really wonderful. Also Elena, who arguably had the most difficult job on board. She was looking after our baby boy Lenny, he turns 1 in 3 days' time. It was very brave of Greta and Svante to embark on such a journey. And speaking about those experiences, it was really good to see her and her father be able to get to enjoy so much time on the water. And I think that it's a trip that they'll be talking about amongst each other and with their family and friends for many years to come. So I'm very proud to have been a small part in Greta's journey. Thank you.
Now we have a brief remark from Nikki Anderson, professional sailor and from the boat's crew.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. As a professional sailor, I think we are very used to going to sea and dealing with what nature throws at us. As Riley said, it wasn't that easy. And so for me, this trip wasn't so nerve-wracking, but I can imagine for Greta and for some of the crew, for her father, for everyone, this was a big deal to embark on this. So for me, I was talking with Greta's father about the fact that going to sea changes you. And we were talking about how it changes us. And because for me, I go to sea all the time, I thought, what is this? What is this trip about? How do I feel differently? And with very, very little time to speak to you, I suppose I wanted to reach out to maybe the people who aren't here. Before I came on this trip, I admit that I was quite nervous to admit that there was a problem in the world. I was quite intimidated by the negativity. And being around these people, being around Greta for 21 days has made me feel like together, like you're part of something. And it makes it much less scary, and it also gives you hope. And so I hope that we all, in whatever way we can, whether it's sailing across an Atlantic, looking after your child, traveling around America, researching, however you want to do it, I hope that by working together, we can do it in a much easier and better way.
Now, Greta Thunberg.
Well, first of all, thank you all, everyone so much for coming here and for welcoming us. That feels very good, doesn't it, to be welcomed in such a way. So thank you so much, and of course, thank you to Elena, Riley, Lenny, and Nikki for making this possible. And I owe you so much. And just thank you. And thank you everyone else who has been helping us for making this possible. And I'm so grateful for having done this trip and for having this experience. And I am so honored to be here in beautiful Lisbon and Portugal. And thank you so much for having us here. And also, after a trip like this, for being isolated 3 weeks, being in such a limited space with such limited things to do, you get very relaxed in a way. You are disconnected from everything and everyone, basically. And for coming into land, it is so overwhelming. So I think all of us are still a bit overwhelmed. So you will have to bear with us, and especially having all these people greeting you. It feels amazing, but our brains are not used to it yet. And it feels so amazing to be home back in Europe. I have been on quite an adventure, and we've all been on quite an adventure. And it feels good to be back, and of course I, as well as the other climate activists, we will not stop. We will continue to do whatever we can. that they prioritize this highest, and then we eventually we will be going to COP25 in Madrid, and we will continue the fight there to make sure that within those walls the voices of the people are being heard, and that the voices of the future generations are being heard, and that the voices from the people, especially from the global south, are being heard. And I don't have much to say. Just that we are facing a global emergency, and we need to see it from a holistic point of view, and we need to do everything we can. We need to work together to make sure that we secure future living conditions for humankind, and that we fight for not only ourselves, but for our children and for our grandchildren and for every single living being on earth. And everyone has to do everything they can in order to make sure they are on the right side of history. Because in order to change everything, we need everyone. And I hope every one of you will get active and start fighting for your future as well. And once again, thank you to these people, to Riley, Lenny, Elena, and Nikki for doing this. This trip has been great. Actually, I think we needed some relaxing time, all of us, especially me, some time to sort of think everything through and to relax. And now I feel good. I feel like I want to continue now. I feel energized and.
Hi Greta, I'm from Estonia, and I would like to know, do you have any specific plans to show to the politicians what we can do to change climate?
Wait. One question at a time, no?
So, if I'm right, the question was if I have any plan to present to politicians. What we young people are doing right now is what we are demanding is that especially the people in power should listen to the science. They should not. I mean, of course, they should listen to us children as well, but we are not the experts. The scientists are the ones that needs to be heard, and the experts. And so what we are saying is for them to unite behind the science, to listen to the science. It should not be up to us children, teenagers, to present plans in order to secure future living conditions. So yeah. If I got seasick. I got seasick the first day, only the first day. I mean a bit, but yeah, I got a bit seasick. But then the rest of the trip, nothing. So yeah, I was very lucky, incredibly lucky, and I don't think not many of us, we didn't suffer from seasickness on the boat, I think, at all. So we are very grateful for that.
Hi, Greta. Luis from Chile. About politicians. We are in Chile. We are the only country that we have the private water. That's really awful, dangerous for us. The president of Chile is the owner of the water. The government is the owner of the water, and the ministers have the big part, or the greatest part of the water in Chile. It's not a question, but the people need to know this. People know to Chile is the only country with the private water. That's all. Thank you very much.
Hello, Katarina here from RTP. One of the big headlines here is that we are about to build a new airport in Montijo. So we have 3 main airports in Portugal. What do you think about that we are about to build a new airport?
I don't know the full background of this, but I mean, when we are thinking of planning such things in the future, we need to put this in a bigger perspective and to really look at it. How will this benefit us, and will this do more good than harm? And we need to look at it from a bigger perspective, and also from a perspective of a bigger time scale. So we cannot only think about today and what we want today and what benefits us today, but also in the future.
Greta here. Good morning from Spain, Mediaset. You hold my microphone, thank you so much. From Mediaset, Spain, Cuatro Días show. Welcome here. We know you arouses a lot of good emotions in everyone. Your movement, your message. Look around, hundreds of people, activists, journalists. Many of us have got here by plane. As you can imagine, I come from Madrid. So the question is, for those who can't afford traveling by a sailing boat, what cheap options would you recommend us to take?
Not travel.
I mean, we are not doing this trip, and I'm not traveling like this because I want everyone to do so. I'm doing this to sort of send a message that it is impossible. That it is impossible to live sustainable today, and that needs to change. It needs to become much easier, and we can't require from everyone to rely on people like this to sail you across an ocean. That is absurd. But I mean, I am not telling anyone else how to travel or how not to travel. But of course there are more sustainable alternatives. But I'm not telling anyone else what to do.
So my question is, do you receive the letter of our environmental minister? What you thought about the proposals to the future, about neutrality, about carbonic, and what do you think about this, about Portugal being the first country to embrace that challenge?
I'm not 100% sure. I think we on the boat received some kind of message. It's very hard to communicate, so I can't guarantee you that I've seen it. But I I don't know the details. If I would comment it, I would probably need to read it once again. But I think we can safely say that no country in the world is doing enough, and that we all need to do much more than we are doing today.
Hi Greta. Hi, my name is Margarida. I work for a news magazine for kids and young people. So I have a question for you about this topic. People say that you are an angry kid, adults mainly. What do you have to say to them?
I think people are underestimating the force of angry kids. I mean, we are angry, we are frustrated, and that is because of a good reason. If they want us to stop being angry, then maybe they should stop making us angry.
Hi. In Brazil, President Bolsonaro recently blamed Leonardo DiCaprio for the fires in the Amazon, and sometimes President Trump slams you on Twitter. So what do you say about politicians that try to blame activists for problems?
I mean, when people in power are criticizing you like that, that is only a proof that you are having an impact, and that you, among others, are bringing change or trying to bring change. And many people don't want that, and of course they will do everything they can to try to prevent change from happening. But we will continue to make change happen, and we will make sure they will have to change.
Hi Greta, my name's Victoria, I'm from Reuters. What is the main thing you want to see coming out of COP25 in Madrid, and where are you going to go next? What's the next step for you?
What I want to come out from the COP25 is, as for every other such meeting, that world leaders finally understand the urgency, and that they listen to the science and act on the science, and that they start treating this crisis like a crisis and cooperate internationally. And many people say that it doesn't matter, that nothing will come out of the COP25 as all the previous meetings, and that may be, and we probably already know the outcome, but that can never be a reason to not try to do everything you can to make sure that this outcome is different. And the next steps for me is, right now I will stay in Lisbon a few days and try to sort everything out. I haven't been following the news. I have been living under a rock for a few weeks, so I need to know what's happened, and also to get everything organized to make sure that I have everything I need, and then when I feel like it, go to Madrid and for the march on Friday. And then I don't know, I will have to create a schedule for the COP25, as I haven't been able to do so during the trip. And so now I will have to choose which events I want to participate in and what I want to do. And also talk with other activists, local activists, what we will do. And after Madrid, I'm going home for Christmas. Yeah.
So the press conference is closed.
Tem que deixar espaço.